I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I got to interrupt my pre-show just because I don't know whether or not Zoe's going to hang out long enough for it to be okay. So I wanted to get my puppy tax in as early as possible. Here's Zoria, the good little puppy girl. This is where all your likes, comments, and subscribes and donations and super chats and everything goes to help support. Is this girl right here? Thank you so much. Zoe, up here. See? Just say hi. Just say hi. Good girl. All right. And if you want more pictures of her, I post them in the supporter chat. All right. On with the show. Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashrothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is January 6th, YC128, and this is the Eve Universe Show! Welcome, 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 guys. Hey, Zoe, one more time. Can we say hi to the people? Can we say hi to the people? Can we say hi? Good girl. Good girl. All right, guys. How's it going? It is the next week, last week of the winter event. So they did extend the track. Actually started yesterday, but I had what I'm going to just call a migraine. Just a real bad headache plus stomach ache and like feeling very foggy. I'm feeling better today. Not 100%, but better. And, you know, we got plenty to talk about today, so I wanted to come here and say hi to everybody and see what's going on. But the biggest thing is that we do have the winter event is on its final week, and it is its track was extended. The rewards were kind of meh, I would say, but we're going to look at that in a second. By the way, guys, we do have a giveaway going on right now for an Eve starter pack. I assume it's just the standard Eve starter pack. Let me go look real quick. Let's see. I'm sorry. Today, like, I'm just going to say ahead of time that today is going to be... bear with me today, I guess. Because, like I said, I'm still feeling a bit, like, foggy. Not all the way there, but we do have stuff to talk about. I did cut out the beginning and the end of the board game review that we went over, which was the last stream, so that's going to go live after this show, so that way you can check it out if you haven't checked it out already. The previous stream didn't really suggest what it was going to be about, so if you haven't checked it out yet, it's worth checking out. But I will be putting out the kind of the one with the beginning and the end edited out here soon. Let's see, hold on a second. In the store, they have packs. Is there like there's a starter pack, right? No, there's just industrial level 1, level 2, level 3. Wait, this mastery pack, or this... What is happening with the starter pack that I'm doing? Hold on. A New Eden store? Is it a New Eden store thing? Also, Morcar says a big fight happening between Test and Goons in 1 hour, and that was what I was responding to with what year is it? Because like a big fight coming within Test and Goons, I didn't think that was a thing that could happen in the modern day. It is also Tuesday. Don't forget to get your free 15,000 skill points on your Omega characters. Man, now I have no idea what is going to be in this starter pack per se. I can see here it shows. Here, let me see if I can show it off without the code. So it's got some skins, some boosters. It looks like an expert system. Yep, but either way, whatever it is, you can win it right now if you do an exclamation point plunder. We'll be doing a giveaway for this skin, or sorry, for that pack, as well as I have a couple skins I want to give away. We have an extra copy of, oh god, I just realized we're going to have to worry about whether or not fucking YouTube does giveaways correctly. Oh no, I didn't even think about it until just now. Please tell me it's working. Looks like it's working. Yeah, Warlock Industries has been making some really good videos, that's true. And Nullsec has been heating up. That is also true. I mean, you can't have quite that big of a power vacuum disruption without by the way, guys, also I just want to point out, because I've had several of my followers now point out that like they don't like talking in chat. So if you go into your YouTube settings and then go into your Google settings and then you go to your personal info, you can actually change your nickname, and then it'll show your nickname as your chat name. I think that's the way you should do it. So that way you don't accidentally dox yourself. I know that's happened to a lot of people, but it actually, you can just change your YouTube nickname. So that way that doesn't happen anymore. Although clue is clue. So anywho, after this giveaway, we are going to do a giveaway for this skin that I designed for the winter event. I made 2 copies of it, so we'll be doing that. But today we are going over fight will be in Atoth. The question is, can I get there that's a long ways away in a nullsec. How long do I have? Ingeminate. If people really want me to go zip out there, I can try, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, let's go ahead and start covering some of the news. Thera? I mean, there might be a Thera connection, but like, I don't know. If I open up my utilities, or sorry, what is it? Personal locations. If we go to East Scout, let's see if any of these are in Geminate. No. Let's see. One of them is 1 jump away, though. Okay, hold on. The Battle of Vakatioth? Wait. I think you're right. Wait a minute. You're right. I think you're right. Is that right? Hold on. Is that right? New Eden points of interest. Let's go with solar system. Atioth in Geminate. Battle of Vakat. God damn it. Now we got to go. Okay. So let's see. If it's in if it's the Battle of Atioth, let's see. It's linked to Great Wildlands and Cache. And boy, is that going to be a dangerous system to try to get into right now. Fuck it, we ball. Let's do it. No, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see if I can get into that system in the next hour. That's just what we're going to do right now. That seems fun enough. That's an exciting thing for us to do. So let's go ahead and otherwise I was just going to hunt you lads. So this is going to be better. But we can still talk about the news while we're on our way and all that stuff. But hold on a second. Let me I gotta find a clone to use. Wait, it's kind of near Jita, you said? It is kind of near Jita. Would Zarzak get me closer? No. Okay, hold on. So if I go to... If I go back to the Thera bookmark collection, we can go... Oh shit, that's Old Man Star to Turner, not to Thera. Great Wildlands. Hold on. Show on map. I need to get there, which is there versus there. So if I end up here, then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to get to Atioth. All right. And then, so, no, that's also in Turner. Wait, hold on. I can get there through Turner then. Okay, perfect. All right. Let's see how this goes. Because this is probably going to be a nightmare, guys. This is actually more of an exercise to see how I would even try to do this thing. My prediction is that we could, I mean, there's going to be gate camps, there's going to be tie-dye, it's going to possibly be miserable. So that's fun. You think CCP is going to add a mapping tool for wormhole space? I really wish. I think it would be cool if they did. Like, just integrate what if is effectively tripwire into EVE Online. I think that would be a really good thing to do, actually. I have no more capacity for infomorphs. So I can destroy my one in Wrens and install one here and then jump to it. Okay, so let's see. Can an Astero fit a what's it called? Nullifier. I don't remember. There's a lot of potential for integrating various systems like corp jobs into a system like that. I agree. Absolutely, I agree. Shit, there's only 2 high slots. So no, I mean, like, I couldn't. Okay. Well, let's find out if we have a bad day or not, I guess. It's going to be even better because people are watching. Okay, let's see. The succubus got buffed today or yesterday, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so I need to go. First to Old Man Star. Might meet up with me. I wouldn't recommend trying to meet up with me there. Use a cheetah or a hyper interceptor. Look, this is not being done to do it 100% correct. I mean, like, I guess I could use an interceptor, but I just don't have one right on me. So I'm going to try my Stratios or an Astero. We'll see. Maybe it'll go terrible. Let's hope it goes terrible. Why do I have so few people? God damn it. I'm not going to be able to do this giveaway, am I? Hold on. I'm not going to be able... God. We're going to Atioth because apparently there's going to be a big fight between goons and Test there. But at the same time, it's also the Battle of Atioth. At least you're not Marquis and trying to transport a freighter through gank space while on stream. Yeah, that's true. I might just have to find a new way to do giveaways. Like, I may actually have to... Unironically, I may have to cancel this giveaway and just see how to do it again. Because I can see that there's already people that aren't getting in, even though they plundered. Like Clue, for example. I'm pretty sure Clue did a plunder, right? All right, now I need to go to... shit. Where was it I need to go? My computer decides to freak out right at this right second. This is bad all at once. All right, so... See, not locations in Turner. I need the one to the Great Wildlands. EOE? I'm just gonna have to see. Oh, I see. Clue didn't actually apply. No! Shit. Well, fuck. Well, that's disappointing. I thought I had an idea. Yeah, it does complicate things. All right, let's see. Let's see what we can figure out. Let's see. So I need to get to the Great Wildlands or Kavala Expanse. I mean, technically the Forge would work. God, trying to go in straight in from the Forge sounds so bad, though. I want to try to get in from the Great Wildlands. Or Catch? Nope. Am I missing a good option here? Whatever. We're just gonna go... Man. I think we're just gonna head back to Old Man Star for now. Load Null from the Forge was actually pretty chill for me yesterday. Well, yeah, but it, like, this is gonna be, if it's right before a fight... Okay, we're gonna do this a little differently. We're gonna do this a little differently. We're just gonna do an Interceptor. Can you jump clone to Zarzak? And do I have a ship ready for it? Yeah, wait, hold on. Is Zarzak close enough? Wait. Zarzak goes to Curse. Yeah. But I'd have to jump clone into Zarzak. Which I can. And then I'd have to have a ship already in Zarzak to use. So much shit. Oh my god. Fuck. I technically do. Somebody get that man a scepter. Yeah, I guess I could try to buy one. Let's go ahead and head out to Valor and then see what I can get. This is as interesting as anything else, right? I mean, I gotta assume that there's going to be interceptors for sale in Zarzak, right? Like, that's gotta be a thing that exists. If not, I can always just use my expedition frigate, ironically enough. Gotta be. It's gotta be. Too bad I can't try to get my Odysseus in there. That'd be fun and dumb. Yeah. No, yeah. I don't need anything too stupid. So because I clone jumped just now in the same station, I don't reset my clone jump. So now I can clone jump to Zarzak and burn my clone there. Which, I mean, whatever. Like the stream. Okay. So we are going to head to Zarzak. Because, like, if I jump into Zarzak, whichever way I jump into Zarzak from, I'm going to get locked to that gate. So I won't be able to then travel to Curse to go the rest of the way. But by clone jumping into Zarzak, I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm not in the militia. Oh, no! All right, well, fuck. We'll just do this the old-fashioned way, then. Pioneer Galnet skin is this week on Twitch. It only drops in the CCP streams. So CCP is doing a series of, like, letting other people take over their streams, which is usually when they do this kind of thing where it has to be CCP stream. Because, like, they'll have other streamers on the CCP stream doing stuff. Like, I think today they were doing some Abyss shit or whatever. Okay, so new plan. What we're going to do is we're just going to go to Dodixie, grab a fucking interceptor, and just haul ass as fast as I can, and we'll just see what happens. We've officially tried all of the fancy solutions, and now we're going to just brute force our way into this shit. Yes, we did it. We did that earlier. Don't forget, on the New Eden store, if you're an Omega, you have your free weekly SP. Okay, as of right now, I have in the raffle Gavin, Hobby, Always Lemons, Susuro, TL, James, Malak Starfire, Spectre Vision, Morcar, and Tommy Second Space. Is there anybody who is attempted to join the raffle who is not just listed? I'm trying to figure out whether or not this is even working. I said the name? Which? What? Oh, did you just change your name? I got it. Okay. No, I track what's going on. I'm sorry. I'll leave it alone. So the secret, though, Clue, is to now plunder with this account. And then if your other name gets called, just don't say shit. And then we'll be like, oh, I guess they left. Too bad. You're not double dipping because you're not going to claim it if the other one gets called. We're just going to be like, oh, I guess they're not here anymore and call and pull another one. See, you're making this far more complicated. Now I'm going to call that name and you're going to have to decide whether or not you want to claim it. There you go. Just let that other name burn. I mean, you know what I mean. Okay, so we're going to dock up and we're going to make ourselves a quick interceptor. What is our, let's see, on the market? Can I just, I don't think I can just look up interceptor on the market, right? I'd have to, you have to go to frigates, advanced frigates, intercept. Oh, it does have, oh no, it doesn't. It has them all listed out separately. So 21, 25. So we have 25, 25, 22, 22, 19, 17, 16. Why does nobody like the claw? Isn't this the one with the cool animation too? Or is that the other one? Only one of each race can be nullified. That's true. Which is not this one. So I'll have to get the stiletto, which is more. Got it. Okay, so stiletto. We're just going to go with a stiletto. I like what they look like. So we grab this, drop it into the simulator real quick. We get a nullifier. We get a micro warp drive. We get, let's see, we're at 3-second align time. So inertial stabilizer. 265. 219. Ooh, sub 2 second. Hell yeah, baby. And then hyperspatial. And then what? Like a shield extent? Low friction nozzle, but that's going to make me... I already have sub 2 second alignment. So, let's see. Cloak. And probe. With 16 probes. Yeah, shield buffer. Well, yeah, I can use the rest of my fitting for shields. I'm going to get out there and there's going to be nothing to look at. And then we're just going to look at the Battle of Akatioth, and so it's going to be okay. I'm just calling that now because we have not, I have no idea. We can get a compact shield extender. Still not enough power grid. So then we can compact this too. Hell yeah. All right, let's fit it. Is the ship for high sec? Absolutely not. So is going through a metro a death sentence? What? I have to go through BWF, which is test staging. We'll see how far I get. We'll see how far I get. I'm just going to set my destination to that system and just go. We've given up all of the good ideas and we're just going to go. Wait, where is it? Where are we going? Shit. Geminate. There it is. I think the clue should have been... Oh my god, this is going to be so bad. I thought Tess was dead too. That's why when my first reaction when he said this was like, what year is it that you're telling me that there's a big fight going on between Tess and Goons? But I got nothing better to do because the winter events extension is very mid. All right, let's go. They're making a comeback? It's not a comeback. All right, I gotta take off this sweater. It's starting to get too hot. It would be very funny. It would be very funny if Pandemic Horde dying like somehow resurrected Test because like enough people went over. Yeah. One of the first and best warp animations in the game. Would a warp core stabilizer be optimal for this ship? If I'm scrammed, I'm already dead. If I'm warp disrupted, I'm probably dead. I have a sub 2-second alignment. So if somebody has me locked enough for a warp core stabilizer to make a difference, I'm already dead. So I think a lot of people are going to be struggling right now. What sites am I hunting after? I am just trying to get into the system of Atioth because there's supposedly going to be a fight there. And even if there's not, there's, of course, the Battle of Atioth landmark to go look at. So I guess while we're heading there, we can just kind of... I think Clue should have and then got distracted. I don't even remember what I was saying, so don't worry about it. So the place that we're going, in theory, if we manage to make it there, is one of the most famous systems in nullsec. That's why the big clue that should have jumped out at me right away was that, you know, there's only a couple of named systems in nullsec, Poidot being one of them, and Atioth being another one. And the Atioth is famous because it is known as it's the location of the event that's known as the Battle of Vac Atioth, which the battle for Vac Atioth is not as talked about in the modern Eve lore, but like when I joined the game, the Battle of Akatioth was seen as the God, what's the word for like the thing that started it all, the initial like event, because basically, you know, there was the balance of power between the Glente and the Kaldari, and between the Amarr and the Mimitar, as the Amarr had most of the Mimitar enslaved. No, I meant like the inciting incident. The inciting incident. Ah, that's the word I was looking for. It's a novel term. But like the idea is that the Battle of Akatioth, the Amarr were this huge powerhouse within the universe, and were enslaving a bunch of people, and ultimately the Jovians, or at least a chunk of the Jovians, known as the Adheduani, took mercy upon the Mimitar, and so wanted to help them out, and pretty much did so by orchestrating a conflict between the Amarr and the Jovians. I've actually done a complete reading of the novella Theodicy, which is kind of the story of how this all went down, or at least what led to the Battle of Akatioth. But the short of it is that, you know, the Amarr were effectively chided into attacking the Jove, and they attacked the Jove in the system of Atioth, and the Jove absolutely decimated the Amarrian fleet. This was a critical event in the Amarr. It's why the Mimitar rebellion was able to start. It's what kind of got everything rolling. It's the thing that embarrassed the Sorum family, which led to the Sorum family making the choices that they did, which led to the rise of Jamil Sorum. You know, everything kind of goes back to that moment. And if you go look at like the old lore guides, that's where they start. And what's also interesting about the Battle of Akatioth as a site, if we manage to make it there, there were survived. You're right. Decimate does imply that there were survived. I thought there was at least one ship that made it out alive, because there's a whole thing about like the ship that managed to like limp its way back to the Amarr fleet, if I remember correctly. Like they did the classic like go back and tell them what happened here, if I remember correctly. I'd have to go check. I know decimate means 1 in 10. Yes, I understand that. And legions mean this, and blah 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 blah. Hey, maybe the Jove will show up and actually fight the Imperium. But was this before or after Dowdy Khanid? So this would have been just before you know, Ulai Convent, you know, the foundation of Concord and everything. So I think this is after Khanid breaks off and becomes his own kingdom, because that was 200 years ago. Yeah. And it was Jamil's dad, I want to say, was the admiral of the Golden Fleet when they got their ass kicked. But see, Khanid was Amarr fighting Amarr, so they didn't really have to think of that as like a major loss. The Battle of Akatioth was the first time that the Amarr had suffered a major loss from an external force. Let me know if you want to scout some systems. Well, if I'm coming from the opposite side, then it'll be even more dangerous for you to try to scout me. I am still trying to find people to play the board game with, in real life or in Tabletop Simulator. There's actually a board game shop near my house, So I've been kind of talking with them about using it to kind of host the gameplay and hopefully have like cameras available. Well, yeah, you can be one of them. We have 18 minutes left on the giveaway and 23 jumps. We'll see whether or not which one happens first. I did. Yeah, I got rid of all my implants. The giveaway is for a starter pack, EVE Online starter pack. Looks like it comes with a starter expert system, some skill points, or some skins, and some drugs. I'm not 100% sure, because I don't think that they sell that starter pack anymore, so it'll be interesting to see. Whoever gets it's going to have to tell me what it is that you end up getting. How do you sign up for the giveaway? ! Plunder for your chance to win. Okay, anybody want to take bets as to what system I end up dying in? If somebody in chat, how do I do this? Do you guys have clones for missile implants, etc.? I do have a missile clone. Anybody want to make a prediction as to what system I end up getting killed in if I don't make it? I mean, I'm sub 2-second alignment. I have a shield extender. And I have a warp core stabilizer. I think I might... I mean... We'll see. Yeah, don't warp gate to gate. We'll see. I do need to get there in a hurry, though. So I don't have a whole bunch of time to be, like, overly cautious. But we'll see. This is as good as anything else to do today. Yeah, I don't have time to get there dead either. You know, but I mean, if I die on the way, that's kind of exciting in itself, right? Your ship needs a skin like those jackets where press wear in war zones. Yeah, like a skin that's like official press pass. That'd be awesome. No, there have been like press people before, like war reporters in EVE, especially during the Great War or whatever. I don't think that they got a whole bunch of extra accommodations to be able to get into places unless they were like supporting one of the teams or the other. I'm pretty sure most people would just be like, hey, I caught the guy that didn't want to get caught. Yay! How many clones Alphas can have? I think they can have one extra jump clone, right? Can't they have like Infomorph Psychology 1, if I remember correctly? Need to have contact with one of the sides to get safe passage through their side? You think that they'll do that? Yeah, they can have one jump clone. Wouldn't it be great if I died before I even made it to nullsec? Like if I got smart bombed somehow randomly in highsec, that'd be even better. Let's get desktop audio on. Bro manifesting it? I mean, you know, we'll see. Yes, you definitely need to be able to hear the hull alarm when it goes off. If we even get that far. It may just... You'll probably just hear armor and then explode, but we'll see. We'll see! No, interceptors are incredibly difficult to catch. A nullified interceptor, even worse. Make an alpha account and put a pilot in every system in EVE? Well, yeah. I mean, some people have done stuff like that, especially in the Warzone, and we interviewed Rasia Typho, who put one in every wormhole system. That's kind of the same. You can have more jump clones if you train the skill and create the clone when they gift 1 week of Omega, and then you'll keep the clone after losing Omega. That's correct. Actually, any way that you give yourself temporary Omega status, you can still do that. All right. Jiminy fucking Christmas. All right, well... Who guessed 1 jump in?
Warp drive active.
Okay. Angle. How is it possible that there's nobody at that gate? Okay. Well, that's 1 jump. 118 people in this system. Only 3 in this system, including me, so that's better. So as you can see, I'm picking a planet that's kind of near the gate that I'm going to. So that way I can both get a D-scan on the gate and also be coming at the gate from an off angle. Have I ever thought about charging people to lie in my videos and insert them into the lore? No, I've never considered that. I don't even... Would I have to lie? I would. I have actually considered like telling other people like player stories as well. I mean, we had Lorelite on, and there's lots of opportunity for like anything that happens in the game is theoretically canonical.
Warp drive active.
$11 jumps. We might make it. Who knows? Okay. These systems are empty. There is tie-dye though. We already got tie-dye. This system is owned by the Society of Conscious Thought? Interesting. I didn't know that. They don't have any stations in the system, though. I guess you're right. I guess I did know that Society of Conscious Thought lived out in Geminate. That is true. I just hadn't thought about it. I really appreciate all these totally empty systems, though. That's making this a lot faster. I've got 9 jumps in 9 minutes. I think I'll do it. Maybe. We'll see. Oh no, there's somebody in local. I have to be terrified. Nope, nobody's here.
Warp drive active.
I'm in a system that's owned by Test Alliance. Please ignore. Huh. Now, I may have not thought about the fact that Society of Conscious Thought had sovereignty, but I legitimately did not know that Test still had sovereignty. I don't believe it either. Look, it's right there. It's funny. It's funny because it's the empty systems.
Warp drive active.
Admittedly, that's probably because they're staging for the current fight, but still. They're the 14th largest SOV holder at the moment. What? Watch, 2026 is going to be the, or sorry, YC128 is going to be the year of Test Alliance.
Warp drive active.
They never did make it so that we can see what things are online on a sovereignty hub without owning the sovereignty. You'll get popped in Antioch? Probably. Test should absolutely go take 1 DQ at this point and be like, ha, we did it! Told you we would.
Active.
I mean, I'll probably get popped in Antioch at some point while I'm there. I don't really want to travel home. My house is that really annoying temperature that when I put a sweatshirt on, I get too hot. And then when I don't have a sweatshirt on, I get too cold. It's like having malaria.
Warp drive active.
The relationship between Test and Goons has always been a weird one because, like, Test really got, like, incubated by Goons back in the day.
Warp drive.
Fight has already started. Port timer goes off in 9 minutes. Okay, great. Well, I've got 5 minutes on my raffle and 4 jumps away. So maybe I'll make it on time. Battle's over. Ash decloaks and begs in chat. Somebody kill me so I don't have to fly home and is ignored. Something tells me people will happily kill me. I get the feeling that if I am decloaked, somebody will be happy to kill me and pod me. If you're putting in bets, I save the system before Atia. That's a really decent guess. Test is Winterco. They could have done it anytime after Brave left from there, if they really wanted it. Yeah, I mean, like, it would have been cool. It would have been funny. Oh, God, no. No! Shit. Okay, hold on. I need to go to that. Wait, hold on.
Warp drive active.
What? Wait, what? Uh-oh. Fuck. This is gonna be it, man. This is where I get caught. Maybe. Hold on. So if I pop this and then warp.
Warp drive active.
Oh, and then he drops out of local. I can use a data scan. Yes, I know. Okay, fair. But there was when they first announced it, and they've talked about it before, you're supposed to be able to visibly look at the iHub or the sovereignty hub and see what things are online. And like they always show it with things online, but then when you go and look at it, it just looks like a flat thing. Okay. We're just going to grab a random, whatever. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I'm just going to assume that there's bubbles. And fucking. All right, I'm waiting so that way I can like hopefully get some of the cooldown out of the way. Oh, damn it!
Warp drive active.
All right, new plan. So what just happened there was I assumed that there would be a bubble, and there wasn't, which meant I burned my nullifier. So I'm just going to reset and try again. And now they're going to put one up before I can even get there, but we'll see. We'll see.
Active.
There's the Moros Navy issue. Okay. Huh. I mean, this is fine.
Warp drive active.
Everything on grid right now can't actually grab me. You can see if there's this. I know I can actually see whether or not there's bubbles on D-Scan, but I saw that there were 3 things filtered, and I didn't want to go, like, guess. I didn't want to check, I guess. I don't know. Here's the Battle of Vakatia. You can see the Amar, all of the Amar ships that got blown up, and the Jovian Observatory, which is actually one of the interesting things about the Battle of Vakatia location. They did put this in later after the fact. And what was interesting is that, like, so as these drifter observatories or Jovian observatories were decloaking and associated with the drifters, they have kind of fallen apart over time, right? And we have theorized that a lot of that was from the drifters ripping it apart, right? But if you look here, it says, this decaying wreckage is the remain of the Jovian research outpost that was only known Jove presence in the Antioth system before the Amar attack that led to the famous Battle of Vakatia. Although the outpost survived that battle unscathed, it was abandoned by the Jove soon after the battle as they withdrew from the systems bordering the Jove regions. Ultimately, the Jove severed the gate connections between the Jove Empire and the rest of New Eden. Outposts such as this one were left to gradually deteriorate as the integrity maintenance systems broke down, leading to so-called nano-rot, while pirates and other occasional opportunists brave erratic defense mechanisms to plunder the abandoned facilities. So the idea that, like, a lot of the Jovian facilities are dying due to nanorot, including the Jovian observatories, is an interesting one, especially since, like, nanorot comes in They talk about Nanorot is taking down a lot of the Jovian structures in Jovian space as well, which was kind of that whole thing about why I think that they're setting up us going to Jove space and maybe picking through the wreckage. I can no longer enter the raffle. Hold on, let's just go ahead and resume entries for a little bit. All right, but what is happening? I'm assuming there's something happening. Is it this Fortizar? How did I have a much harder time getting in than you? I know, right? This is, look. I don't know why things happen to me the way they do on stream. Goon Fort coming online. Do you know the name of it? This is the only Fortizar I see. And I don't see a whole universe of people in front of it. Streamer privilege. Oh, streamer privilege. Yeah. Maybe. All right, hold on. Nothing there. Around one of the gates. Well, there's a bunch of gates that are too far. Wait, hold on. Oh, this looks like it. I think I found it. Joe Frigate Wreck. What are we doing in Athioth? Well, we were looking at the Battle of Athioth, and now we're going to try to see if we can find the Battle of Goonswarm. What just happened? Wait, what the fuck was that? Oh, shit. Okay. That was something that was in the location with me. Which one is going to be the most? Golly. All right. Well. +100. Yep. 500 in local now. Why are these Garissas not attacking me? I wonder. All right. I think I should be able to warp to the place at 100 with nullification on and still survive, right? I think. So let's go ahead and find it out. Let's find out.
Warp drive active.
Oh boy. Here we go. Hey, I did it! I did it! Oh. Okay. All right, so we are on grid now. That is the gate. That's test. Okay. Well, where's the Fortizar? There's the anchoring Fortizar. There's 42 minutes. There's 52 minutes left. There's a whole hour left. I'm supposed to survive here for an hour? It's true. Null is a lot of waiting around. Okay, so this is a test keep star, but it has fraternity people tethered to it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. 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 Cool. Kind of surprised I didn't make an on-grid save. Kind of surprised I landed at all. You're right, Jeff. I probably could have and should have. Oh, they are actively trying to get me, aren't they? Wait. Hey, look at that. Somebody wanted me. Are you watching my stream and trying to figure out where I am? Is that what's happening? Oh, big fleet landing. NC. Okay. So NC brought zealots. Oh, here comes more people landing. And my computer's starting to choke. We have 1,000 people in local. Tie-dye is not happening. Might want to kill brackets. Well, the Goon Fort is right over there. That's the Goon Fort. It's incurring in 49 minutes. Lots of old Panfam alliances are now Winterco. Yep. Just remember, you've still got a chance to exclamation point plunder for your chance to win the starter pack. Displaying graphics. Let's go ahead and turn things down a little bit. Oh boy. Oh, come on. Work with me. Stick with it. Stick with it. Disable shadows. Medium. 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 More people. Oh, whoa. That's a big fleet landing. Why is this guy so close to me? Hey, I know that guy. All right, so we have... Oh, they're warping off. Back to the bubble. That's so many people. Look at that fleet. Look at that fleet. God damn. They're just warping back and forth, it looks like. Oh, wait, they're getting close. They're staging onto the Fortizar, it looks like. Primarily on our ships. Yeah, well, that is funny, isn't it? Yeah. Thematically appropriate zealots and apocalypses. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like, hey, let's show off fleet warps going on. All right, that Saber is now a little bit further than from me. I think he's given up on trying to find me. We'll see. Warlock. Yeah, Warlock's been doing some good stuff. Does he actually go by that name in game? Because I don't see him. I have a 3K pounds. I would have to uncloak to warp anywhere at this point. So I'm not going to do that for a little while. I'm an enjoyer of mildly accurate reporting, yeah. So the closest goons could get to Jovians would be Trig and Angel ships to keep it thematic. Well, SOCT, they could come in a bunch of Praxis. So there's NC, there's Fraternity, and more Fraternity. Not a lot of test. Hold on, I'm gonna get like a button-up shirt. Hold on. Okay. The moment I leave, test shows up. Locals it's still at 1,000 though, so let's see. Let's go ahead and break away from my ship a little bit and go and look at what's going on over here. Oop. There you go. There's your armor hack zealot fleet. Mic in my eye. This mic doesn't even... I'm using this mic here. There's that APOC fleet. Well, it is functional. I just use it for, like, when I'm in Discord. What do they got going on here? This is just totally bubbled to shit with this fleet, I'm assuming, guarding it. Because, like, that's the thing, is that Goon's got to come in. Control F9? What? For what? Oh, sorry, lose UI. Yeah. Goons have to come in here. Otherwise, they pretty much lose by default, right? Because, like, They're the ones trying to anchor the Keep Star. Okay, so basically, when they just sino in, I thought I saw several. Did I not see several sino jammers? Is there not sino jammers in play? I'm pretty sure there's sino jammers in play. So I'm assuming, I don't actually know the background of what exactly is going on. I only pay a little bit of attention to the nullsec stuff all the time. But, you know, goons have been on their own little rampage and test enemy of the goons. So this is apparently a test system, which I wasn't aware of, existed, but it does. And so I assume that Goonswarm are interested in attacking. So they're putting down this staging Fortizar. But in order for this staging Fortizar to be successful, we have to wait 40 more minutes. Well, 41 more minutes. And then somebody's got to load in a core. And then they've got to wait an extra, I want to say 30 minutes for it to finish anchoring. So anywhere between 41 minutes from now and then, they can start attacking this thing and pause any of those timer, you know, that timer, that onlining timer that I was talking about. And if they manage to just blow it up, then it's dead. Now, the thing is that everybody who's here right now, are all on the same team, right? So these guys over here, the test guys guarding the gate, the fraternity guys over here, or NC dot guys over here, and the fraternity guys up here, these guys are all on the same team. And they are explicitly against the goons who anchored the Fortizar. So they are attempting, because again, if they can just prevent the goon swarm from even getting in the first place, they basically win by default. They can just burn it really quick and it's done. So at some point in the next 30 minutes or so, we should see an attempt by the goon swarm to enter the system. Now, are they going to try to go through this blockade? Are they going to try to go through the back door? Are they going to try something really, you know, sneaky? I don't know. We'll have to see. We do have combat probes out. We have... would we see a Sino Jammer? I assumed that we would. Although this system is big and I don't have a good D-scan of them all. Could be a blue ball strat, put up the station, make them burn through it to wear them down. Yeah, no, this definitely could just end up being a nothing. And they go, ha ha ha, made you form. That's definitely a thing that happens in EVE. And they did form 1,000 people. We have 1,000 people on grid. Is it? Now, I assume it's online. I don't see one. Am I being dumb? I assume that you do that 5 times and you'll have half the participants. Sound Jammer is there. Okay. Oh yeah, there it is, right there. I'm sorry. It's these two right here. Atioth, you shall not jump. Tenorix Sinojammer, and Doot Doot Tenorix Sinojammer. So they not only have a Sinojammer, they have a backup Sinojammer to turn on in the event that the first one gets taken down. So we've got 37 more minutes, and we're all just kind of waiting at this point. So in the meantime, let's look at the winter event, I guess. So they did extend the track for the winter event. What they did was they added a new expert system for the Perseverance, which this is actually a very interesting expert system, especially for people that didn't have these skills in the first place, because it comes with mining precision and mining exploitation, which are two of the newer skills involving critting with mining. So for those of you who did get the previous expert system at the beginning of the event, and then maybe used it to complete the event, you can now use this expert system to be able to use your Perseverance that you got at the end of the track of the event to then finish the event, right? So that's the idea behind that. Just trying to make sure I am far away from everything. I just realized something. Is there an observatory? They wouldn't. Are they going to do an observatory? Hold on. Flycatcher's 119 away. Sure. Okay, so let's see here. Where do I want to go? I'm very nervous right now because I'm concerned that they have a an observatory up. And if they do, then they could theoretically knock me out of cloak. They don't? Right, but I mean, they always could be. Sure, yeah, Jeff, go ahead and send it to me. Make a few tacticals. I would really like to make a tactical, but again, I really don't want to decloak for as long as I possibly can. The icon that appears on your HUD tells you that you're immune. You can see it deploy. You can also hear it deploy in space when it happens. Oh, right. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's fair. And I am technically doing that. Can I get them both in shot? Now, they could still light a Black Ops Sino, even with a jammer in place, right? They get Black Ops bridge in. All right, so if we show off... This is the current influence map, and we are... here? Yeah. We're in this pocket around here in Geminate. It's the one connected to Great Wildlands, which would be over here. So, yeah, it's basically this system right there. A neutral spin, a neutral spin, a neutral spin. Yeah, yeah. They're still warping around. They're not catching him. Local is now at 1,200, by the way, guys. I still don't see Warlock. They've got a Naglfar. What kind of big stuff do we have here? Not that much big stuff. So tell me the significance of this fight again. Yeah, so this is a test system. Test owns this system as part of Winterco. And apparently Goons is going to attempt to invade it and so they're dropping basically this staging Fortizar on. Or this staging Fortizar. So if they're able to successfully anchor this Fortizar, they will use that to attack this Keepstar, in theory. So in order to kind of prevent that from happening, they're going to want to wipe out the Fortizar before it successfully anchors. Yeah, they could theoretically just jump in through this Stargate and blast their way through the bubbles. Absolutely something they could do. They could also come in through the other direction where I came in, which was basically empty. I actually am very surprised by how empty my route in was. Whether or not this actually is like some sort of incredibly meaningful event, he's kind of shitty about that. Whether or not this is an incredibly eventful thing, we'll have to see in the long run. Yeah, they probably have scouts. That's true. Although there are a lot of those systems where I literally didn't see anybody. All right, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and do our poll for the raffle, because I do want to also give away a couple of skins today. So, yeah, both sides will have spies. If they can take down the Sino beacon, that'd be great. Otherwise, they're going to have to gate in or Black Ops. Will be the first major conflict between Tests and Goons since World War B2. Well, Morcar has been the one who brought me this event as something that's happening. Ooh, we do see... Hold on. We do see warp scramble attempts. What's happening? They caught something. Maybe? Never mind. I think they're just fucking with each other. Yeah. That's a good shot. Shoot. Hold on. Are you sure it's not just test being test? I mean, maybe. It could be. Is there, if there's any alliance to waste a fortifiers are for shits and giggles, it would be goons, wouldn't it? Absolutely. No, yeah, there is a 100, not 100% chance, but there's an absolute possibility that this is all just a ha 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 made you form. But again, like as Malak just pointed out, ultimately the result is going to be how much goons manage to form, because like. So they, I mean, everybody can see that there are 1,200 people in system. Oh, Goon's got a kill on the other side of the gate. You know, there's 1,200 people in the system. So if Goons don't feel like they've got what it takes, they may end up deciding that this isn't worth taking. If they do, then they will. And that's the thing, is that, yeah, if they want to just sack the fort, then... Ha ha ha, made you and 1,000 of your friends form. But as soon as anybody blinks, they're going to make their strike. There's a 100% chance that this could be a chance that it is a joke. Yeah. 100% of the time it works. Wait, no. 40% of the time it works every time. People are... playing chicken with their zealots, so clearly boredom is setting in. 24 minutes left. Let's go and do the giveaway. So one last chance, exclamation point plunder for your chance to win the starter code, or the starter pack. Correct. The call has likely already been made. We just don't know. It's also worth noting that this system does have a plasma stability generator, so it does... benefit armor over shield. We've got local armor repair bonus, module overload bonus, and armor hit point bonus, which is why we're seeing things like zealots and damnations and apox. Those are very strong armor tanks. Okay. I've got 19 people in the giveaway. There could also be another fort in another system. Could be a bluff. Could be. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to close this in like 1 minute. Making sure everybody seems to be getting in. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna pretend like this actually worked for this giveaway. Oh, we can... Oh, you can even check to see if the system is jammed in the upper left-hand corner. It's It's almost like I kind of know what nullsec is all about. People talking smack. If there's a fight and you get good shots, I take skins, skill points, and ISK as donations. Yeah, I appreciate that more, Car. We'll see. I'm pretty sure we can do that. One last double check to make sure I'm okay. Looks like I am. Okay, great. We're going to do the giveaway. Close entries. Resume in. All right, we're going to pull in 3, 2, 1. Where's the button to pull? Hold on. Wait, what? Shit. That was it. That was the sound. That was the sound. Hold on. That was the sound. There it is. Hold on. What was that? What is that anchoring? Mobile depot. Okay. False alarm. False alarm. It was a mobile depot. But that sound of like somebody deploying a sound in system, especially if there's nobody on grid with you, like you can hear the sound of the observatory deploying like that throughout the entire system, if I remember correctly, or at least unless they've changed that. Either way. Okay, great. Cool. We're going to pull in 3, 2, 1. Hey, Clue, you did win. Look at that. Congratulations, Clue. You and me. Together forever. Yep. All right, I'll get you your starter pack code at the end of this. And then we will do a giveaway for a skin next. All right, so we can start a new one. You do have to reapply. So exclamation point plunder for your chance to win. That's going to be any of the Skinner skins in my like backlog of Skinner skins to give away, or skins that I have in Jita to give away. Your pick, including the new winter one that I just made for the endurance. I'm actually kind of surprised that they're not using a an observatory, unless they've got cloaked guys that they don't want to decloak. 18 minutes. I am going to take a big risk and see about running to the bathroom really quick while that is going on. Yeah, no, an observatory would be a really bad idea. Don't do it. It'd be a waste of money. I just always think about them now. All right, I will be right back. I'm not at liberty to tell you how I know. Wait, what? Bingo what? Bingo which part? The observatory. Oh, I see. That they're not going to deploy observatories because they have too many things that are cloaked. Well, either way, I'll be right back. So the big news of the day that I was supposed to cover was that the succubus just got a buff. Has anybody played around with it? Is it good now? I find it interesting. Like, this has been a kind of a thing that CCP has been doing for these last couple of events, is that as part of it, they've used it as an opportunity to kind of buff up, especially the pirate frigates of those things, like the Empire. Or you had the buff to the Ashimu and the Kruger during the Crimson Harvest event, and now you have the succubus during the winter event. I think it's kind of nice for them to really some of these buffs are really good for ships that honestly aren't that popular. A lot of the pirate battleships are really popular, but pirate frigates often kind of struggle to have a place other than the Worm. I built one a few years ago. I wonder how their changes screwed up the build. Well, they just got buffed. Like, it's just straight up buffs, so you'll have more fitting and less capacitor consumption in your turret, right? Hold on. What we got was reduction in small energy turret activation costs, so less capacitor costs for your turrets, a higher power grid by 6 megawatts, a higher capacitor capacity, and a longer max targeting range. So it's got more capacitor and takes less capacitor to fire. Well, yeah, you probably won't need to use the faction stuff, at least somewhat now, because that's a lot of extra fitting. 6 megawatts may not sound like much, but it's like 15%. And I guess there's no CPU, so depends on what you were low on. But the capacitor is the biggest one. I mean, the power grid is big, but capacitor went from 450 to 525. We have 13 minutes, man. If goon swarms are going to show up, they need to do it sooner rather than later, because the thing is that you don't want to show up as its timer is going, probably, especially since the main timer doesn't even start until somebody's able to put in the core. I always felt that the issue with the pirate frigates that they're just an expensive version of the stiletto. I do know some people that have really, really loved running around with pirate frigates and doing PvP. The succubus is actually an amazing PvP frigate, and this is going to make it even better. But especially with faction warfare changes that made it so that the majority of the sites don't allow in pirate ships, really, really cut into the value of a lot of the pirate frigates in particular. So basically everybody had to suffer because the worm was too good. Will there be a Guardian Gala? That'd be incredible if they brought back the Guardian Gala. The Daredevil and the Dramular are super fun for low-sec PvE. I like the Daredevil for webbing ships into warp. I knew a guy that solo PvP'd in a succubus a lot back in the day. Or a few years ago. Might be worth checking out again. Especially, like... So one of the things I keep thinking about is that with the changes to faction warfare, making it so that you have to kill the rats either way, it means that there's actually kind of a benefit to using drones or lasers, because that way you don't have to worry about ammo. And while I'm not necessarily, like, I do like the Algos, it's one of my favorite ships. I understand that making the Algos better for faction warfare isn't necessarily great. The guy in chat going, test, the gate isn't going to run, chill. Yeah, the succubus is... So every pirate race has a cheat, right? Has a thing that makes them really good, as well as their 2 bonuses. So in the case of Sancha ships, it's the afterburner. They have an afterburner that functions basically like a micro warp drive, but because it's an afterburner, they can't get scrammed. And so they are incredibly good scram kiters. I wanted to try it out in the Abyss as a souped up retry. Yeah, I actually was thinking about, with the changes of the succubus, particularly whether or not that makes it good at the Abyss. I just don't think that it's going to outperform the Retribution in the Abyss, because the Retribution's still a T2, you know, assault frigate. Local's still at 1251, no major changes. There is a Goons shuttle here. We are in the system of Atioth, where there is a Goons Fortizar anchoring in 9 minutes. And basically everybody that you see on grid is hostile to the Fortizar. Before they added the afterburner bonus to the Sancha, I suggest that they give an afterburner bonus to Assault Frigs and Hacks. Yeah! Well, they got the... Originally, Assault Frigs got the Micro Warp Drive Bloom bonus, but I think they got changed that. That has all but been taken away at that point. But I always said that the assault frigates, instead of getting a big tank bonus, oh, they did get them back? Okay, well, whatever. They keep going back and forth. The tank bonus on the assault damage control, I would have really liked it to be an E-War sloughing thing, so that way assault frigates could get in there on top of things and then, like, ignore webs. But I'm not on the design team, so we got what we got instead. Other than that, there hasn't been that much news to talk about. People used to complain about hacks being too kitey. Makes more sense for them to be brawly. I agree. And like I said, like, I think that letting them slough close range E-War would have made that a lot more viable. That's Deathless Tech now, isn't it? Wait, which one? Wait, what is? What is Deathless Tech? The assault damage control is way before the Deathless. So they're using zealots mostly. Oh, don't they reduce web's effectiveness? Oh, that's right. Well, I was also saying that like I had for long ago said that before even the Deathless was like a full thing, I was like, oh yeah, the new Mimitar Caldari pirate ship should be Thucker and they should be smugglers. And I always said that what should have made them special is old school jams, but we got breacher pods instead. Oh yeah, 50% reduction in microwarp drive signature radius penalty. There you go. They have it. And then if we go to the retribution, yep, 50% reduction in microwarp drive signature radius penalty. That's neat. I didn't remember. I couldn't even remember that they put it back in. Six minutes. I wanted a shield combat exploration ship line. I almost want to say like the Odyssey. Or not the Odysseus, but the Outrider. There you go. No, I think that if that was to come out, like a shield ship, it would have to be from like Upwell, right? This is going to be a bust and force a shit ton of people online for shits and giggles. Okay. He's trying to make sure that he's wrong by saying that this is going to be not interesting. Either way, I mean, we came here to go see the Battle of Akatioth, and we saw that already, so we're fine. I was just checking to see if there's anything on Reddit about this. Does Odysseus get a bonus from this system? I don't think so. It might. It might. It actually might. It probably does. But yeah, the extension to the track is somewhat disappointing, but also just really weird. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. So, like, the expert system makes a lot of sense, right? If you, like I said earlier, if you got through all of the track on the previous expert system, it's gone now. And so the fact that they give you a extra, would have risked it for science. I almost did. The fact that it gives you an expert system so that way you can finish off the last little bit, that makes sense. That's cool. 100,000 skill points is a pretty good amount of skill points. Locals spiking, we're at 1342, so 100 plus people, or about 100 people have come into system in the last few minutes. And then the Perseverance Aurora Universalis skin, fine, that's cool. The Frozen Obelisk skin, Skinner component is, I guess, whatever. But I guess the big prize is the 75 plex. Now, the first time they did this, they had the Drifter plug suit, and then they did the random Blood Raider ship. Oh boy, what's happening to the local now? It's going up and down. We're at 1354. Tie-dye is still not happening. So, like, putting Plex at the end of this track feels so cynical to me, right? Because, like, rather than give something that's actually going to contribute something to the game, like, say, introducing a bunch of blueprints will, instead, they just put out a bunch of Plex, which is, you know, Plex is good to be in the game, But this really goes back to what's been going on with Plex this whole year. Which is to say, namely this. And this is what I think a lot of this is all about. And this does, so this is kind of does two things. You know, what we're looking at here is Plex over the last year, or more importantly, Plex since the change to Plex to be able to make it so that it can be bought anywhere. And I really do think, like, from a company perspective, giving out a bunch of premium currency could theoretically be seen as risky. And I know that historically CCP has seen it as risky, which is why they didn't do it very much. And any Plex that they ever gave away before came from accounts that were like wiped out because they were caught hacking or whatever, right? So the idea is that, like, when CCP generates new Plex, that is considered kind of it's a liability on the company, right? Because this is where people pay them money to get Plex. So Plex to CCP is worth a certain amount of money. And more importantly, people can use their Plex to get things that cost money. Like, are we really just going to blow it up? 40 seconds. So, like, why would they do this, right? Like, it's such a weird thing to do that they're starting to hand out more and more premium currency for free, and in a level that, like, is uncontrollable, unbounded, right? To have it so that every single character on every single account can get 75 Plex. That means every Omega account this month, if you really busted your ass, you could get 100 Plex times 400 Plex. You can get, or 3, sorry, times 3. So 300 Plex, which is 3/5 of your entire month's Plex cost, right? No, yeah, I don't think goons are going to show up. I think Morcar just dragged us out here to watch Test blow up a goon structure. No. So, like, now I know that, like, in the industry, we're seeing a lot more of this whole giving away of premium currency thing going on. And there's a certain amount of, like, if you give people free premium currency, they buy something with that premium currency, they then are more open to buying other things with premium currency. And it goes on from there. So, so it may be okay for them to do that, but I think that there's actually a bigger debated more card. The bigger thing that I think is going on here actually goes back to that, that blog that we got that was so confusing about FOMO, right? Where the real issue is CCP. The real issue that CCP had, the thing that was getting to them as a company, was the fact that Plex over the years has basically solidified as the de facto capsuleer commodity to be bought, sold, and traded, with the idea that, like, or with the understanding that basically on a long enough timeline, Plex only ever goes up in cost. And so a lot of people basically maintain their wealth in Plex, because the idea is that that will be less. Inflation's a weird thing in EVE because things don't actually become more expensive that often, but Plex does. So your wealth will go up over time, even if the price of your average battleship doesn't necessarily go up in price over time. And when things like battleships have gone up in price over time, it's been because of changes to the build cost of the ships, not necessarily because of some overall inflation. You know, we've checked before, the price of trit, the price of the various basic stuff has all basically been about the same, or it can be controlled for by metrics like mining changes, etc., making things more or less available, as opposed to an idea of like inflation. Inflation in that sort of sense does not actually happen in EVE as much as people would think, except with Plex, right? So this idea that like everybody would buy Plex and then they would hoard it, this is awful for CCP, right? What's worse than giving away free Plex is having people sit on most of your Plex. Remember, they opened up a can of worms using Plex and Skinner? Maybe, but I think that also is because, like, you buy skins for Plex. People already bought skins for Plex. And so if they're going to replace people buying skins for Plex from the NES, then they still need to spend Plex in order to get those skins. So that's fine. But the issue is that the value of Plex continues to go up and up and up, because it's valued as a commodity. And it's valued as a commodity because it's understood to be stable and strong. So what did CCP do this year? CCP kicked Plex in the nuts. Not because they want to give away Plex, not because they want to, like, I don't know, but because they need to break through that mentality. They need to break up that philosophy that you buy Plex as an investment, that Plex is always a good thing to buy, because that's what's driving this engine. Not people that need Plex to sub their account, not people that need Plex to get skins, but people that were hoarding Plex in order to maintain it as a valuable commodity. So they attacked the actual valuable commodity portion of it by continually, over and over again, doing things, you know, making it so it can be bought from everywhere. Reducing that friction is one of those weird things. That's kind of like when they split Plex into 500, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but when they split Plex from 1 to 500, the cost of getting a month of Plex went up. And this is actually something that happens in normal stocks and trading and, you know, like finance, where if you split the stocks, the overall value of everything goes up a little bit. It doesn't, like, the value of, if you make all stocks into 2 stocks, normally with the way that the market works is it doesn't end up with both of those new stock being half the value of the old one. The overall value actually goes up when you do this. And so, you know, that's one of the things that made Plex more expensive. But then when you make it so that people can buy it frictionlessly, then that actually pushes down the cost a little bit more. Like, raising this velocity helps stabilize the value of it a little bit. And then when you combine that with continuous sales and now events just flat out giving away Plex for free, that makes it so that this notion that you should just keep Plex on hand as a finance benefit is a bit undermined. And now it's like better to find something else to keep your value, like maybe Isogen or, you know, whatever. And I really think that that's a big piece of what this is all about, and why Plex is the final reward here, is because CCP wants to convince the player base that Plex is no longer the commodity to hold your value in, that it's something that should be more liquid, should be more like you get it when you need it and then you spend it, rather than something that you buy up as an investment by and of itself. And I think that just removing that philosophy actually cuts away a whole bunch of the demand on Plex, which is what causes the price to go down. But I'd like to know what you guys think about that. That's just what I've been thinking about while I've been watching it. That said, I still think it's a very... It very much feels like well, they've gotten into the pattern of extending the track for the final week, but they didn't really know what to do about it this time. And so they were just like, I guess Plex is good. Plex is always good. Plex is the new skill accelerator. They're really going to just kill it. All this way. How is Goon's going to let Test win a fight? Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, okay, good. Whew, I got you baited. All right, that's fine. That's what I get for looking in local. Plex might also get people to subscribe for the next month, keeping some of the people who only came back for Christmas. I mean, yeah, that's true. Well, that's the thing is that like CCP wants people to be able to use Plex to be able to get people want CCP wants people to get Plex and then spend it on their accounts. For sure. And then making Plex be cheaper and making Plex lose its value encourages people to do that, to actually consume the Plex and to use the Plex and to sell the Plex. If they introduce more active gameplay, that they would also reduce the value of Plex. If people could no longer bot to Plex their accounts, that demand signal would go away. Yeah, well, and that's the thing, is that's really crazy to think about. Like, okay, well, if they're worried about accounts Plexing their account with botting or whatever, well, they just handed every Omega account the ability to basically get this month for less than free. Because with that Plex, you could easily get the skill extractors that you need to like sell your brain to get the full value. Even with CCP giving away Plex, it just gets added to the pile of my Plex vault and I continue to hoard it. Well, that's fair, but I mean, like, the point is that like part of that is you're watching the value of it go down now, right? And there are some people that are doing that, always lemons, but the thing is that they're changing people's behavior around Plex in a broad level, not just on an individual level, obviously. So I do not see Warlock. Is Warlock in-game name Warlock? I don't even know if I'd recognize him if I saw him. I think that ultimately the reason for Plex price going up is that the demand is higher than supply. Well, the price has been going down. That's my point. Like, over time, Plex has always gone up in price. And the reason why is because over time, people's liquid ISK has gone up. You know, like, the overall liquid ISK and supply has gone up, and the ability for people to make liquid ISK has gone up. And correct, yeah, the services in the NS. Hold on. So we're at 1375. It looks like there's a lot of people coming in, but not, I mean, not anything that's worth, that would make a difference here. But I did see a bunch of people changing in local. Hey, there's an Urbis. But also the services in the NES also have an ISK value in a lot of times. So they usually have kind of, they follow on when Plex prices change. No. It's a Northern Coalition Urbis, so he's supposed to be here. Oh, he's on the Fortizar. Dang it. I did manage to click on the Fortizar. Come on. What was the last war between Test and Goons? The World War B2? So like World War B and World War B2 were basically pushed by Test. The whole Money Badger Coalition, Honey Badger Coalition, that was always like the Badger coalitions was always a Test thing. Right. Yeah. Now it fails because CCP increased the supply. My point is that CCP has outright said that they have a problem with the fact that Plex keeps going up and up and up. And so, like, a lot of this has more to do with changing our perception of what Plex is. So that way people can actually use it or spend it. Those are the ones in 23. It was 2020, right? World War B2 was in 2020. World War B1 was in 2018. Wait, the Fountain War was was the Honey Badger Coalition, right? Because like, so the first time Test tried to get uppity, they formed the Honey Badger Coalition, which was like, they're like, we're so nasty. And like the Imperium and the Honey Badger Coalition fought. And while the Honey Badger Coalition was able to do pretty well, the problem was that Test actually ballooned. Like they saw their victory in the fact that they took so much space. So they had the largest sovereignty and they had the most territory, and they saw that as their strength. And so what Goons did, whoa, hold on, there's bombs. Hold on, there's bombs. I think they hit. Did they hit? No? I don't think they hit. I think they might have missed. That's really sad. Oh, nope. They hit. Or maybe? At least a couple people died. Looks like one destroyer died. One saber, or no, and two sabers died? Or a saber and a fly catcher? Two fly catchers? Something like that? Nothing serious, basically? Right. Okay, yeah. Fountain, look. No, what I'm saying is that, yes, this is all before World War B. So, Test takes Fountain, right, and then owns it, and then Goonswarm is fighting Test, and Test think that they're so badass because they have all of this territory. And what Goons does is they realize that it's not about territory, it's about money. And so Goons go in and take out all of Test's moons. And Test like tries to claim victory because they are able to hold they win all of the sovereignty objectives, but they lose all of their moons, and so they run out of money and they fall apart, right? That's the first iteration. That was Money Badger Coalition. That is why when in 2018, when who is it? Space Monkey's Alliance betrayed Iron Bank, and so God, that casino, not Summer Blink, I want Isk, whatever, that group decided to fund attacking the Imperium, which caused Test to get the gang back together. And when they did that, they renamed themselves the Money Badger Coalition, because they were like the Honey Badger Coalition, but this time with money, because they had independent financing from the casinos, right? So that was World War B1. And then, of course, they did manage to kick Goonswarm out of Declan, because Goonswarm basically gave it up. They fall back to Losec and then take Delve and then fortify it. And then that leads to, in 2020, World War B2, when the Money Badger Coalition, the Test and their friends team up with... What did they team up with? No, Fraternity stayed out of that one. It was Pandemic. Yeah, it was Test linking up with PanFam to kind of make their new coalition and attack the Goons for World War B2, which of course did not go well for them. I'm pretty sure that if I remember correctly, that's kind of how it all played out. I think CCP is just keeping it between 5 and 6 for a while now. Maybe they just need to find the sweet spot where people spend real money and enough Plex is burned. You'd say that, but it was at 5 million and then they just gave away 75 Plex to everybody. I mean, 107, however much it was. How much was it? Is it? Like, it was at 5 before yesterday. And then they just put another 75 Plex on the field. I could have, but Goblins cocked it up. You could have what? It's actually fucking wild how that went. Like, that whole end of World War B2. Because I was on, like, I was talking a lot on Talking in Stations, and, like, there's a whole bunch of content was made involving that. And that was such fucking... That was their fight to win. For sure. And they just sat there. So basically they burn all of the Goons' holdings. They destroy everything except for the home constellation where 1DQ is. And they do some pokes into 1DQ, and it's a shit show. But then they try to do this weird thing where they spend most of the summer attempting to siege the Goons by, like, just sitting in their territory and not actually attacking their home system, but trying to, like, starve them out. There's two problems with starving them out. One, this is a fucking video game, and a lot of them just went and did other stuff in other places, because you totally can and still be absolutely available to defend if you need to. So they didn't actually stop them from doing anything in the game, per se. And the other thing was that, like, the Imperium have their own media empire. You're not going to win by demoralizing them. I said this at the time, too. It's like trying to get into their heads and demoralize them is absolutely insane. They have a fucking DJ. Like, they're not having a bad time. They're fine. You guys are having a bad time because you guys are being boring and grumpy and stupid. right? Like the Goon Swarm made a fucking party out of it. It was never going to work. And then after this like 3-month-long siege, they're like, we're going to do one last attack. And so then they sell everybody a bunch of ships for their last attack. And then they say, psych! And everybody leaves and like abandons everybody. So Villy sells everybody his zealots and then fucking skips town. And then everybody, the fact that there are still people in Test Alliance blows my fucking mind after what happened in World War B2. Yeah, Mine One was a huge factor of World War B2 and the Imperium's victory. But like, he also wasn't the only part. Like I said, like the Imperium has had their own news organization for years. I was a writer when it was the Motani.com, right? Like you're not. I don't know. It's so dumb. Why bail without fighting after you sold the stuff? Because he had the money from the stuff. That's why. People just don't understand Goon culture. It's true. It's very true. Yeah, I was in tests and I remember being very sad when there was no final fat. You should have been mad. You should have been mad. Your leadership failed you. He had the money, but he could make people whelp them and sell more stuff. He didn't want to lose. He wanted to get his stuff out. He's going to whelp them anyways by abandoning them there. Because remember, like as soon as very much like when Horde fell apart, when Gobbins just quit. No, he didn't lose. He made shit tons of money, and all of his assets got out. All of his capitals got out. You know, leadership capitals got out. Everything like that. But once again, like as soon as it got announced that they weren't going to do it, what did they do? They cut off the Ansilabic Sino beacons, the jump bridges and everything, and just start ripping them all apart. So yeah, they all died in the end anyways. He just didn't need to bother with it. Or they, I guess. We are in tie-dye, officially, at 74% tie-dye with 1357 in local. No signs of the Imperium at all. They could have pulled out the caps while whelping the subcaps. They could have. And there's actually all these little things about like what they could have done. Oh, here's more bombs. Where are the bombs? There they are. Oh, that one's going to look good. That one looks like it might be good. Oh, that might be good. Is that good? Are they going to blow anything up? There's one wreck. Only one wreck? Oh, I see a couple. Never mind. 2, 3. They got a couple. What'd they get? A Caldari frigate? Bah. A Mar frigate? Bah. Mimitar frigate? Okay, they didn't get shit. Wasn't the Imperium's big bomber, though, the guy who shut off their clone bay? You need quite a few bombs well placed to take out bigger subcaps. Yeah, I agree. But they're the ones attempting to deploy the bombs. Another collapse incoming? Who? It's not the Imperium. Test is collapsed? Hold on. Eh. They're going up. Oh. Sin? What is that? Dark Synergy? I don't know if I've ever heard of them. Oh. Wow. That's kind of cool. This little, all these little flecks over there are all Bargists. Phoenix Co. Eh. Maybe Phoenix Co. collapse and come back. That'll be good. There we go. Very pretty. Stop. All right. It is almost dead. We're at like 8% probably. It's all propaganda. OF has been saying for a year we are dead. Oh God, this is okay. This is legitimately why I don't get into player politics, is because no matter what you say or what is going on, somebody's like, "Oh, that's not true. You're such an idiot for believing it." It's like, whatever, man. Okay, great. Everybody's got their own spin on things. We are almost to death. Now remember, there is like a damage cap, so it doesn't matter how many people that they come. It takes a certain amount of time for them to blow up the fort, no matter what. But that time is getting low. Tie-dye is at 79%. That actually does make the killing of it a little bit slower too. Oh, we are so close to it being dead though. What are those? Nidhoggers. They're warping in a bunch of carriers at the very end. It can't be for the core. There is no core. I think we're about to see a explosion. We're going to see all these beams disappear, and then we'll see the explosion happen. There we go. It's a good shot. Oh, there it goes. Did you notice how all of the firepower just ended? And so now we're going to start seeing like explosions throughout the infrastructure. There we go. There's the explosions. And then in about 5 seconds, the whole thing's going to go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. And that is a Fortizar dying. All right. Well, and then of course everybody's going to warp off. And we are going to... I don't know. What are we going to do now? I did get to see a pretty explosion. And I mean, it gave us content and something to talk about. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did Clue get... DC'd? I'm watching for his name to pop up. So how's that mobile game that Eve has? Eve Galaxy Conquest? I've been having fun with it. Okay, it came back. Okay. All right. Well, let's do something silly. We've already done enough silly things. Let's do some more silly things, huh? Oh, here's the Fortizar kill. Maybe? Yeah. So... Pandemic Legion is here. That's who was in the Bargus? Pandemic Legion? Wow. This really was a what year is this fight? Or not fight, but event. Eve Galaxy Conquest is 100% pure pay to win. Well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but at the same time, yeah, I think actually later this week I'm going to do an episode of for Eve Galaxy Conquest. Now, a normal tactic would be that you hit another location while everybody's wasting your time on this. Yeah, that's true. Local is now at 1,200. They're all dropping out. Goons are next. All right, so let's go ahead and keep doing silly things. Since everybody's way far away from me, I'm going to decloak. There's enough signatures in system. I'm going to decloak and scan for a wormhole out. Let's see if I make it. Let's see if I make it in time. Come on. Locals going down. I'm hoping that they're all so distracted that they don't notice little old me decloaking. And then I cloak again. Yay! It worked. Okay, great. Now I can probe my way, see if there's any of these things is a wormhole. It is fairly pay to win, but like at the same, I hate to say that because like pay to win implies that if you pay money, then you actually do win, and it is not really respectful of people's money either. I don't know what to call it. There are definitely some pay to win aspects to it though, with the the implants, especially. Like, there's some, like, character-specific implants that are ridiculous. Pay to lose your money, yeah. No, I actually been playing around in Eve Galaxy Conquest again recently, and I think I'm going to show you guys some more of it. But like, there's a part of me that's like, do you guys even really want me to cover this? Because if I look at it, there's a lot of nitpicking I can make. I'm not even worried about the pay to win or pay to lose aspect of it. I'm worried about things like just basic information in the game and whether or not it's accurate. My favorite is that the Hyperion says that, like, you get increase your firepower by, comma, rest of sentence, and it never actually tells you how much it increases it by. Now, every time you level it up, it increases it by more, theoretically, but it literally doesn't tell you what it does. And there's just a lot of little things like that. That's the stuff that bothers me about Eve Galaxy Conquest. Not the balance, not the pay to win or whatever, because, like, ultimately, I don't know if I necessarily buy into a lot of that stuff. But just, like, the fact that the game itself is so unpolished stands out to me more than anything else. Now, obviously, the developers of it are Chinese, and so it has to go through translation systems or whatever, but, like, we should have that. And these are basic stuff. The fact that it doesn't show the number of the value that's being increased by the Hyperion, if any number is being applied at all, that's not a translation error. That is a programmatical error. And then on top of that, like, there's other ones like, so, oh God, you're gonna make me, I'm gonna do an episode about it in the next couple of days. There's a great setup that, like, a recommended build that gets everything wrong. It calls the Abaddon Hell's Angels. It calls Jameer, and it calls Karashal, Karashal Karis. Eve Galaxy Conquest always bothered me due to the game design. It doesn't really feel like an Eve game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I am the right kind of nerd that I am still kind of into it, just because, like, hey, look, that's Mentis Black. Hey, look, that's, Viola. Like, I know these characters. Like, there's a certain, like, even if it is just a generic space game with an Eve skin, but that's actually why that specific mistake originally caught my eye, because there are a couple of times that the text that comes in to the game has really come across as being bad copy paste from a different game. There's been some accusations of that. I do love the fact that they had, like, a special Jamil skin, because Jamil's like the Christmas event. So this year they had a Jamil skin, and the Jamil skin is just a picture of her very mildly animated in a very, this is totally AI kind of way. The packaging is pretty and inaccurate, and the gameplay loop is built for competitive rather than casual. Yeah, although they are getting more and more, like, I've been playing it more casually recently, and I think, like, you can definitely get into the trap of playing it competitively, but you can also kind of play it casually too, which is what I've been interested in examining more, because, like, playing it competitively is a big pain in the butt. Although, ironically enough, like, there's a certain thing where it's like, yeah, Eve Galaxy Conquest does demand a lot of your time, but, like, there's also a bunch of that time is waiting, right? And while you're waiting, you don't actually have to have the client open. The problem is that you close the client, you go do something else, and then you forget about it, and then in 10 minutes when you have to come back and check on it, you forget to check on it, and blah, blah, blah. So you have to sit there and just wait there the whole time. Whereas with Raid Shadow Legends has to be your active client the whole time. So it's like, it demands you sit there with it on your phone, and it just running that for the next hour to run all your runs or whatever. So in a little ways, like Eve Galaxy Conquest is a little bit more friendly in the fact that it can stay in the background a little bit better. But it does have kind of a more on demand. You must always be attentive. It can be casual right up until the starter area being invaded. I am in the starter area, and I have yet to, like, I think that they undid that whole thing where it's like people were fighting each other. I have not had any problem with like hostiles in my area. Imagine instead if the game actually let you play as a general in one of the Empire's forces, your ship and faction themes, your officers were faction themed, would feel so much more like Eve to me. I agree, which is why I'm excited about the board game. We will do a poll for the raffle as soon as I'm done scanning down all of the things in the system, and we confirm that everything here is all juicy data and relic sites instead of, yeah, it's a detected. God damn it, they have detectors here. That's why we're getting so many data and relic sites. All these things are going to be data and relic sites. The board game does look really fun. Really fun. All that exploration content and Ash without a hacking module. I could have put a hacking module in my mid slot now that I think about it. But I think I'll just leave that to Clue. That'd be pretty wild to try to start doing like exploration in this system right now. I'm picking up Titans this weekend. That box set, like those Titans are very impressive. And there was actually a really cool dude on Reddit that has painted their capitals now, their Titans. Kind of hoping someone comes up with some tabletop rules people can use with the board game's minifigs. Woo. You mean what? You mean other than the board game? Oh. Yeah. There's a... Well, I mean, there's a board game. There is a board game. I guess, maybe. There could be like a... You could take like... You could potentially take something like Starfleet. Doesn't Starfleet Command... Isn't there like a... There's some other tabletop strategy games that simulate space combat, right? That's true. There really is nothing in here, is there? Yeah. I mean, it could be cool that you could like you could take the Star Trek board game, you know, stuff and change over the rules. I don't know. There's not. That's the problem, is that there's not that many figurines, though. Like, if you actually want to think about it that way, there's only like 3 battle cruisers, for example, of each race. So, well, now what? A smart man would have brought a high-sec ice filament. A man that expected to survive might have done that. I did not expect to survive. So instead, I'm just gonna blitz home. Yeah, you'd have to print up your own, which at that point you're basically just you're kind of at the same spot that you were before. Look at all these free drones and stuff. Okay, let's see. Am I going to paint my minis on stream? Ooh, yeah, I could. I could set that up. Okay, how do I redeem? Because it took a long time, and I got to go clean the house soon. Are you talking about the code that I'm going to give you? I haven't given you the code yet. We're just going to take care of that later tonight. Speaking of which, we're going to do the giveaway now. So we're going to do the skin. So we're going to pick a winner right now in 3, 2, 1. England chips. All right. X up in chat, and I will pull up my list of all of the Skinner stuff that I have as options. I'm pretty sure they would have rolled those wormholes in the system. Ragtag, stop making sense. All right, so my collection, we have the Blingy Burst, which is the gold and white burst. We have the Dark Cerberus. We have the Dark Tiger, which is Inquisitor. We have the Drifter Sweep, which is Synesis. We have the Horizon Perseverance, so an all-black Perseverance. We have the Kiki Wild. We have the Malro Procurer. And the Malro Executor. The Pretty in Pink Bantam with a little rose on the side. And we have my Under the Tree for the Endurance, my Winter Endurance skin. Which one of these would you like, England Chips, and what is your in-game name? I theoretically could have other ships or ship skins to pull up if you want more of a traditional skin than these Skinner ones, but this is what you know. If I try to show you all my skins, then that would take way too long. Oh, excuse me. In the meantime, I'm just gonna go for it. Let's fucking, I don't care. If I die, I don't care, right? Yeah, I don't care.
Warp drive active.
All right, Havoc. Yep, we'll see if we make it home safely. And then that'll be good for the stream. All right, 07 guys, thanks for coming. We're going to try to make it home safely and or die. So many interceptors.
drive.
I'm just going gate to gate. I don't give a fuck! You want my, you want the under the tree skin, okay? Alright, cool. I'm gonna deal with that as soon as I figure out whether or not I'm dead. How is there no bubble? How am I being too prepared? Oh boy.
Drive active.
Shit. Wait, what? Okay. My interdiction nullifier didn't show me how much time was left, so I didn't use it. I could die. This could be it. It's not going to be, but it could be. Nope, it's not. How are these guys so bad?
Warp drive active.
I hope that worked.
Warp drive active.
I think that worked. Yeah, looks like I got it good. Looks like I got it. Whew. Whew. All right, you should have a couple days. You should have a little bit of time to get it. The gates are all essentially manned by Scruffy from Futurama. I would have expected them to like try to catch some people.
Warp drive active.
No problem. Thank you. I almost feel like just going gate to gate the rest of the way home, and if somebody catches me, then good. Why is... Oh. There we go. Well, the only other person out has core scanner probes out, so probably not a threat. Journalism write-up for the event, so we can go away happy. All right. Well, good job, Clue.
Warp drive active.
Was there anything else I was supposed to cover today? We talked about, like, the succubus got changed. I'd kind of like to look at that at some point. Like, or, well, we talked about the details, but, like, I don't know. I've been also wanting to do some faction warfare this week, so we might play around with that a little bit. Today, I didn't have it, like, I was already kind of dazed, and this was enough of a distraction that I was like, okay, cool. And we got to see the Battle of Akatioth.
Warp drive active.
Their time dilation is higher right now in this system than it ever was during the actual Fortizar attack. So is this fun for you guys? Do we want to do this? Because like this is one of the things I've been thinking about a lot for the next for this year. I want to do more streams where it's just like chilling out, doing some activity, playing some Eve. This was kind of a good little experiment. Just see what was going on for the day and go and zip on over and check it out. I'd be interested to know what you guys think. Am I gonna get caught? I might get caught. I'm not caught. Excellent. All right, great. Cool. Well, make sure to like the stream. So that way I know. These dudes had me dead to rights. Change the shaders. By the way, I do recommend just changing the post-processing to medium or low, just in general. There's a lot of the times where like CCP will put on filters and stuff, things like Potchfin and all that stuff, which are like cool. But if you change it to medium, then it's a little bit less oppressive. There's a rapier named Sino Rapier. I wonder what that does.
Warp drive active.
I'm such a nice guy. Maybe they're giving me a free pass. I don't know about all that. Oh man, can I jump in and warp while still? No. Oh god damn it! What did I do? What? Okay. Wait. No, I'm still. Okay. Oh, cool. There's an outpost monument. Hold on. I'm gonna go check that out.
Warp drive active.
Okay. So this is where one of the outposts was, like the player-built structures. This one was apparently owned by Pandemic Horde when it was finished. When they turned them all into faction Fortizars. And nullify and warp.
Warp drive active.
This is why I nullified before I warped. Bye! Good. The one time I needed to be nullified, I was. That's good. That makes me happy. All right, let's get out of here.
Warp drive active.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out and for all of you guys' continued support. Those of you who make the choice to become a sponsor by becoming a member or a patron. Members do get edited videos early, and of course are part of my supporter chat. And speaking of which, if you are a supporter, be paying attention, or like a member. I'm going to probably be putting out a post to members here in a little bit because I want to coordinate about how I can better support you guys.
Warp drive active.
And we are back in high sec, guys. We're back in high sec. We're done. No deaths. Somehow did not die. Why not? All right, well, let me know what you guys are up to this week, this final week of winter event. Is there a trick to utilizing that There's a trick utilizing relative warp that also negates interdiction bubbles. That doesn't surprise me at all, although I wonder exactly what the details of it is. But that doesn't surprise me at all.
Drive active.
But also there's a lot of tricky things that you can do with warp bubbles that people don't expect. So it's it goes both ways. They're a very technically weird thing that you just have to understand how the mechanics work. Otherwise, you can get fucked up. But all that said, I am very curious as to this. The last thing I'm going to say today, probably, is like, I find it weird, this angle that CCP is going with this event, which is that, like, so
Warp drive active.
Evermore has been always associated with the winter event through Interbus, right? Interbus and the Yule Lads, and they're kind of like that's been a thing since basically before the winter event was even a winter event, right? The idea of the Yule Lads and the idea even the connection with the Yule Lads with Interbus, with things like the different doodads that you can get, the displays. That was all an Interbus thing. And of course, Evermore is an Interbus agency. But what's weird about this is that they've tried to like play in that there's something weird going on with Evermore. And we're going to have to see how this plays out, because so far they've kind of avoided doing that. You know, Upwell's obviously got its own thing going on. Evermore, well, the big thing about Evermore is when it was reincorporated, they also acquired Interzone Shipping, Zero G Research, Adaptive Provisioning, Valor Spec Ops, and Cremo Incorporated, which is all a bunch of stuff for like, so it's transportation, like infrastructure, mercenary organizations, and cloning technology. So, you know, already we were very much like, oh God, these guys are building their own clone army, right? And then they're also created a new corporations, Verdi Enhancements, an augmentation manufacturer for the average New Eden citizen, Vapor Seas Technologies, a cloud-based computing company, and the Interplanetary Media Network, a cluster-wide network of planetary views, news, and entertainment media outlets. So what we have here is this group right here. Yes, Evermore is the group that gives us Evermarks. Verdi Enhancements, if we go back to the post, actually we can close this real quick. Wait. If we go to the mail, I got something from Thrance. So we have this guy who has said, Evermore is up to something. The discounts in the Paragon Hub and Interbus Safe Travels campaign are just corporate distractions. The Yule Lads, recently released into the metaliminal storm systems, have been fitted with experimental devices from Verdi Enhancements. These devices have been altered to run a subset of hacking protocols built to steal data over long distances and reconfigure functionality. I believe they're intent on stealing Sanchez's code for political weaponization. Destroy the Yule Lads and confiscate their devices. We mustn't allow Soundship programs to fall into Evermore's hands. I'm out of time for now. I'll keep an eye on the data and report back when I can. And then, of course, there's this one, which came out on the 5th, so yesterday. We struck a blow to the heart of Evermore's corruption, but we're not done yet. The data I'm tracking in the metaliminal storms confirms my suspicions. Evermore is up to something, but they're trying to pin it on Sanchez Nation. Whatever they're planning, I'm relying on you to help stop them. Capsuleers, remember, the discount in the Paragon Hub and Interbus Safe Travels campaign is just corporate distractions being orchestrated by Evermore. And what's weird about that is that, like, also, we see in this post, the CCP post to us, the players, we see volatile ice storms. Capsuleers have stuck a blow to the heart of Evermore's corruption, but the final push is still ahead. The anonymous source within Verdi Enhancements warns us that the Paragon Hub discounts down their final week are mere corporate distractions. So they're really drawing attention to this fact in a way that is odd. The real focus must be on destroying the Yule Lads and striking against Evermore. And this final week, the Lads drop more cryotech than before. So I don't know where they're going with this. It could very well be something related to Vanguard. You know, the Deathless has now developed his first Bastion. And so this idea of Bastion technology being out in the open is something that we're going to be paying attention to. Now, what part of Sancha's technology is Evermore interested in? That's kind of interesting too. You know, Evermore being Interbus, you would think have a lot of good ways of getting around each other. The only real tech that Sancha has that, well, actually there's two techs that Sancha has that's kind of interesting. The big one that jumps out is, of course, the wormhole generator, right? There's a bit about Amar potentially invading Stain that never happened. Yeah, I still stand by the fact that that could happen anytime. But either way, so are they after the wormhole generator? I don't think so. What is interesting here is that the other thing that Sancha is really known for is implants, right? Like there's the Sancha hive mind. There's the, like, Sancha uses implants to create his society and to enslave the true slaves, right? And so the idea that Verity Enhancements, which is a implant manufacturing company, is the one stealing from Sancha implies to me that it is the implant technology itself that Sancha has developed that they are interested in. Oh, I see. It was suggesting that it could be a prelude to that storyline. It could be. Evermore is also the one that's experimenting with the incredibly suspicious AI in the form of Iris, the physically manifested multiple instances artificial intelligence that is running Paragon. So, like, there's a lot of things that make Evermore somewhat suspicious, but there's been so much attention on Upwell recently that they're almost like they've kind of gotten the pass. But I find it interesting that CCP, because, like, you got to think a lot of what happened last year was kind of a reset, right? Like they finished off the Drifter campaign, but they also have a new lore team. It's why I think that they kind of dropped the ball with the Glente election. Yeah, the not AI that can hack our pods. Yeah. So, like, this weird attention to Evermore during this event, even though they were already part of it, so of course you're going to try to do something. But this idea that, like, oh, they're stealing this Sancha tech so that way they can do something in the future and blame it on Sancha really feels like a bit of a, like, a book note, right? Like, hey, remember this next time something happens and it gets blamed on Sancha. But, like, remember, like, they have basically almost a brand new lore team in a lot of ways since last year. And so I think that whatever they were going to get up to is getting close to getting started. And so I wonder whether or not this could just be a throwaway for the winter event. Often the stuff that happens in the winter event does not actually matter for lore purposes for various reasons. But this feels a little bit like they're trying to make it so they can make it relevant later. It's also worth noting that January was when the original Sancha and Tempest Dragonar's event happened, where the Nirvana implants got introduced to the game. So, I don't know, there's some stuff here. But what do you guys think? I'd like to know, and we're going to keep an eye on it, and you're going to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and join the Discord, so that way you can see the latest news as it comes out. And of course, you're going to use the link down below if you haven't yet to get 1,000,000 free skill points. That is 40 days of training as an alpha, 20 days of mega, for free, and it supports those that support the channel. If you want to maximize engagement with EVE Online, the Convocation of Empyreans is recruiting. We have fleets and operations. We have weekly mining fleets. And of course, we have a bunch of people that are interested in opportunities. If you want to come in and get something done, please hit me up. Even if you don't want to join the Convocation of Empyreans, just go on and join the Discord. Flag yourself as interested in YouTube, so that way you get news about all of my videos and stuff. But Oh yeah, they could start. They are starting up for. They'll be setting up for FanFest too. But I think that's all going to be the same thing. I think that FanFest is going to be soon enough before the release of Vanguard. I think that's going to be like a 1-2 punch. Yeah. So the next, we got 4 months and then FanFest, and then like 2 or 3 months at most probably, and then Vanguard. So this is going to be a very exciting year for EVE and a really good time for us to be built up and you know, etc. I'd expect FanFest would coincide with, well, yes, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have the next expansion too. So all that's coming. I've been Ashrathi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put EVE into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. It's been kind of an exciting day, and I would like to give a big shout out to my top tier Immortal tier supporters: 745 MPSI, Arydanika the Queen, Bad Boy Smooth, Ebo Elite, Erladis, Elange, Flash Gordon, May, Malak, Starfire, Malin, Mercuton, Mayak, Neelam, LM1, Sheesh, Susuro, Thrans, and Rid. Thank you all so much. I survive solely off of your guys' support. Well, that's actually not, but you know what I mean. I get to have nice things. My puppy gets to have good food because of you guys, and I deeply, deeply appreciate it. So if you appreciate what I do, please make sure to at least like the stream. It is a critical thing. I know it's stupid and it's a YouTuber thing and everybody does it, but we do it because YouTube has us up against the wall when it comes to it. So go ahead and like the stream and share it with somebody else and be like, hey, this Ashrathi guy, he's got information and he's a good place to learn stuff. I've got my tanking guide that just recently was done, and I'm going to put out an edited version of that here soon, as well as all of the other guides and such. But all that said, I should be back tomorrow with more stuff, but I'm not even sure what. So I guess we're just all going to have to find out together. I've been Ashrathi, the voice of Newey. Until next time, I'll see you in space. All right, hold on. Don't leave yet. I'll go get the guinea pigs.
Bring on the wrecking machine.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh gosh. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yes. Very exciting. Okay. No, we're not witnessing the death of my guinea pigs on stream today. I just wanted to make sure you guys saw that they're still doing good. I have managed to keep them from the puppy. Are you going to just say hi? You're just saying hi, right? Okay. Yes. Just say hi. Okay. All right. All right. Let's try this outro again. Bye.
Bring on the wrecking machine. every city